I'm Hillary Mulick and welcome to my YouTube channel. I started my business on the West Coast and slowly made my way out east where I'm now based in North Carolina. I share all types of wedding photography content here on my channel as well as peeks into my life here in the Carolinas. Before we dive into today's content, make sure to download my free guide in the description, How to Get 10 Storytelling Images with One Pose. It's my secret to getting a variety of images for my clients while keeping them comfortable and relaxed throughout the session. So make sure to download that guide in the description. So today's topic is how to get started in film photography. In a previous video, I talked about how to get that fine art look with your digital images, and you may have been doing that already, which is great. Kind of helps transition your digital images into looking more film without shooting film yet. But now you might be ready to actually start your journey in film photography, but just aren't sure where to start. So that's what this video is all about. The first thing you want to do when getting started with film photography is get yourself a 35mm film camera. Now, this camera is a great starting point when you're starting to learn film photography. It's not as much as an investment as a medium format camera would be. It's a lot cheaper. You can get them used. I think I got this one on Amazon. You can also get them on eBay, or any other used camera stores might have 35mm cameras. This one is great. So if you shoot Nikon, I got the F100, and it's awesome because I can use all of my digital lenses on this film camera. And there's a Canon equivalent as well, and I'll put those links in the description below. Okay, so the second thing after you get yourself a 35mm camera is you want to get yourself an external light meter. This light meter is awesome. You can only find them used, and so if you find it on eBay or Amazon, I think I got this one on eBay, definitely jump on it. This is the Flashmaster Sekonic L358. That's what it looks like. And it's really awesome because you can set your aperture on here, and then when you go to get a reading, so I usually meter for shadows. So I have the light is behind my subjects. I put this in the shadow in front of them facing outward. I usually have bulb in. You can do bulb in or out. I usually do bulb in. And click, and whatever I set my aperture at, so most of the time I have my aperture set to 2.0. So I'll set my aperture to 2.0 here. I'll get a reading and it'll tell me where my shutter speed should be at in order to get an accurate exposure. Make sure you get yourself an external light meter. The third thing you want to do is get yourself some film. I'm shooting on Portra 400, and 35mm film looks like this. If you shot with your grandparents' old cameras, 20 years ago or whatever, you probably are familiar with 35mm film. Looks like this. And you just put it into the camera. 35mm film, guys. All right, so now you have your 35mm, your external light meter, and your film. So the fourth thing you want to do when getting started with film photography is you want to practice in different lighting situations and see how film looks in those different lighting situations. So you're going to want to set up some free shoots. Put out a call on social media, on Instagram, asking if there's anyone that would be willing to model for you, and challenge yourself to shoot that entire session on only film. Now, maybe just shoot like 2 or 3 rolls. It doesn't have to be a full 1-hour session. It can just be 15-20 minutes. But I want to challenge you to take your subjects into different lighting situations. So take them in full sun where the sun is fully in front of them, shoot them backlit in sun, shoot them in the shade, and just see how film looks in those different types of lighting scenarios. If you're shooting at sunset, maybe take your film camera and see how sunsets look on film, because things generally look a little bit different through the film camera than they do with the digital camera. So this is a great exercise to just see how film works in different lighting situations and how to best use film. All right, so the final thing you want to do after you've shot your film is you want to send it off to a lab to get developed. I use PhotoVision, so what I do is I go on my computer, I go to the PhotoVision website, I fill out the form to say how many rolls of film I shot. I usually choose to get it scanned on Frontier, And when I'm doing client work, I'll do large scans. When I'm doing personal work, I'll just do regular scans. And then I will pay for it, print out the form, and I mail the film to them. And then what they do when they receive the film is they scan it and they send them to you through your email. So you don't have to wait for negatives to come in the mail or for physical prints to come in the mail. They just email them right to you, which is great. So then I just open up my email and I'm able to download my scans right there and look and see what my film images look like. Just like when you started shooting digital, it really is trial and error and just seeing how film photography looks in different lighting situations and how it manipulates light, and just continue practicing. And that's all you really need to start shooting film. And those are all my tips when getting started in film photography. I hope they were helpful as you start your journey into film photography. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to download that free guide in the description below, and I'll see you again next week.